Why does your head suddenly go down as soon as we go live? It's really odd. Hello.
Hello. Good evening. God, I was just watching the news there. The Thomas Cook, it's all very well, isn't it? We sort of go, oh, Thomas Cook, and I'm glad I'm not on holiday.
It's an absolute
but
bloody
I just
disaster.
watching that news and all those people out of work and people trapped in hotels.
No.
It's a disaster.
It's actually tragic.
It's really absolutely tragic.
Hi guys, hi George Nash,
Hi
Gabrielle,
everybody.
hi Rebecca. Obviously here for a confession, episode 4, live review. I'm just pulling up my incredibly anal notes. Let's get rid of that.
How are we all?
How are we all?
Did you enjoy confession?
Evening Emma Ann Harmer Collins. What a beautiful double barrel name. It's not
Double,
often you get a
double.
double barrel name, is it? Double barrel name? That's right. Emma Ann Harmer. What would I want my double barrel? Mark Joshua Adderley Berg.
What's your mum's weird middle name?
Winifred Doris.
No, hasn't she got another weird name?
Thelma Doris Winifred.
Alsager.
No, Alsager is the family middle name for the family.
That's what I mean.
I was the only one not given.
So you could be Mark Alsager-Adderley.
No, well, my granddad always used to say, why the hell weren't you called after the family name is Alsager-Adderley? And I wasn't given it. Talk about not feeling like I belonged and then made to feel like I more even didn't belong. Maybe I'm not really my mum's son.
Here's Kiki.
Here's
Right,
Kiki
baby.
B. Everyone's going to bed in our household, but as Bagpuss goes to sleep, the mice on the mouse organ go to sleep. Lots of great
Thank you,
congratulations for Nadia on her. She is Nadia's family feasts.
Nah,
And can I just say, she's something of a family feast.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? I feast my eyes on her every day.
Night, darling.
No,
Love
my
you.
darling. Do I get a hug? I can do it off camera. I can do it off
No,
camera.
you won't.
No, it's happening off camera.
No,
I
the
love you
night,
so
baby
much.
girl.
Sleep
Come on
tight.
here.
Off camera.
Love you.
It's happening off camera. Everything's happening off camera. Family life is happening off camera. Because
I love you,
over there, Maddie is cooking up a late night feast so that she can eat it whilst we watch American Horror Story.
She's having spag
I
bowl
forgot
pasta
we were live, I'm sorry.
and hot French bread.
Lady Gaga is in the series of American Horror Story that we're watching, and I said to Maddie one night, I'd love Lady Gaga to run me over.
Oh.
I don't know why. I just would. Anyway, so
What are we here to talk about? We are
confession.
here to talk about confession.
A confession. You keep just saying confession. It's a confession.
Sorry, a confession. So
Yeah.
who's been watching it? Because we know often some people join us just to say hello.
And for those of you who aren't watching this live and you end up watching this because you're after just a review of A Confession, excuse all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? Hey Drum, Lady Gaga is awesome, but she's not in a confession, unfortunately. Well, let's plough on, shall we? I thought this...
Oh look, after a slow start, I've started to enjoy it.
Yeah, I
It's that
agree.
Victoria.
I agree.
We
Victoria Alice.
completely agree, because we were saying when we were doing the reviews of 2 and 3 today that we were so pleased that the comments you pushed us to.
Well, no.
to
On
watch.
episode 1, a
'Cause
lot
we
of
did
people
feel
came
it
through.
was
No, we
slow.
were critical of episode 1, but then a lot of people came through saying, "Look, guys, get a grip. This isn't actually about the procedural. This is about how he manages the conviction of the suspect." And if it wasn't for you saying that, we wouldn't have stuck, would we?
Yeah,
We wouldn't have stuck.
Thank you, Dekov. Very kind.
Yeah. So whichever of you did put that comment on episode 1, thank you, because Trish Thompson's just asked, not watched it yet. Any good? I would say an absolute slow burner.
First
Getting
episode
better and
is
better.
slow, but not so slow that you're
No.
bored. But you're just a bit confused because it's Martin Freeman and you know he's always really good.
Martin Freeman is so good.
Oh, he's
I always
so
want to not like him, but
good.
he's
I
always.
saw him live at a play
Yeah, Maddie saw him live in a Harold
you?
Pinter play.
with Danny Dyer.
Is he good?
There you go, with Danny Dyer. Very short.
Yeah, I like
Great,
that
Very
great
short.
casting for The Hobbit.
I did Celebrity Catchphrase with his wife, his ex-wife.
Well, yeah, I was going to
We
say.
still haven't watched that.
Excellent. No, we have to watch
Everyone
that.
said it was really good. Maybe we could do it as a live watch-along.
Yeah. No, we've always been a fan of Martin Freeman. I think he had to shape that The Office sort of looking a bit perplexed by a sort of handheld camera type thing. But once we got past that. So, yeah, there was so much in this episode, to be honest. I had so many notes to make. What did you think? Did you think it was... Of course, we ended the last episode. We came in off the back of Imelda Staunton's just maternal cry, which was just so shockingly...
And also we got to see Becky's dad early on, and obviously, and we spotted straight off. Actually, I know him,
Yes.
Christopher Fulford.
In fact, you know everyone in this show.
I
don't
do,
You? You've
I know-
worked with everyone. It's like Nadia's old contacts book.
My dad used to do a sitcom with him
No.
where he played a punk rocker.
No, I could see him as a bit.
And
of
he
a
was a
punk.
really fine-looking young man.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So Martin Freeman's team is reassigned. So why does anyone else feel like all the police are against Martin Freeman anyway? Don't you feel
Yeah, I
that?
don't really understand why they're not so friendly with him.
Yeah. Do you not feel that?
Do you think that there's a bit of a jealousy because he's like a really good detective and his team love him and he's a bit
I don't know.
fly and maybe there's a bit of jealousy? Oh, he's up himself a bit. Maybe it's something like that.
I
mean, when this is finished, this series, I'll be really interested to read all the newspapers and stuff because, of course, we get to see real footage.
Well, I was
this
going to mention that later. That I thought that was a really strong, heavily impactful thing. Yeah, it's a true story. So we get a phone call from Joe Absalom, who we've talked about our review for last week, saying how absolutely phenomenally brilliant he is. If I had one frustration with this episode, though, it was really rich and good. There was just not enough of him. But when there was him again, it was just, he's so powerful in this. He's so powerful. But he phones someone, a friend in prison, and sort of admits
Thank
to
you, Bailey.
eight murders. He sort of infers that there's
And
8.
Martin Freeman's character has known this. He's highly suspicious of the fact that there's this great long gap between these two brutal murders. And if you're that sort of a murderer,
Yeah.
you're not just going to do it on occasion, are you?
Yeah, no. And I thought one of the most interesting parts of this episode, does anyone else agree, is that the contrast of grief and dealing with death of the two mothers. Sian's mum versus Becky's mum. And Becky's mum having this sort of the tainted fact of her daughter being a prostitute and sort of being somehow less worthy, but also the unfortunate added detail of it being a more distanced death, less evidence, etc. So could you imagine that frustration?
What a lovely comment.
What's that?
Read that out. Rebecca Carter.
Rebecca Carty, I'm no good with slow burners. I never used to have the patience for many TV shows, but I really have done since the Popcorn Junkies. That's because
Yeah,
we're the Popcorn Junkies.
that's great.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
lovely.
That's
I'm really
good.
pleased. Yeah, no, lots of things pay for a bit of patience and commitment. Yeah. Did I miss something? 8 killings, please help. Well,
Helen
when
Dingwall. Nadia, what the hell's happened to your hair? You look like Wurzel Gummidge.
someone else mentioned that earlier when you were talking about Wurzel and something else. No, he
Put any
suggests,
product on it.
Joe Absalom's character, the cabbie, suggests on the phone call to his friend in prison that he's being investigated for 8 cases, doesn't he? He doesn't actually say he's murdered 8 people.
Because, they're after me for
They're
8
after
cases.
for
He
8
was
cases.
showing off.
Yeah.
But they were taping it.
But serial killers do show off, don't they? It could have been just him showing off. So we don't necessarily know he is a serial killer. Though I have had a little bit of a butcher's through the side of the
Don't
story.
tell me
And
anything.
I do wonder. Yeah, and so there was that interview earlier, wasn't there, with someone who had been in prison with him, was that right? He gave
Yeah,
us-
so basically they taped the phone call that he was having and then they tracked down the guy
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the police went to talk to him and said, oh, he was really dodgy. He used to ask me things like, have you ever had sex with someone while you're strangling them and
Yeah.
all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So he's a right old rotten apple. He
Oh,
really
look, Nikki
is.
Street says these poor girls lived in my hometown of Swindon in
Did
Wiltshire.
they?
Oh, don't.
I mean, that is the easy thing, isn't it, when you're watching a drama,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
to actually forget these were real people.
Yeah.
And I really like the introduction of the real footage.
Well,
so
I
I
thought-
had a real problem with the film, the Dick Bundy film, because it was like,
Dick Bundy.
what was his name?
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Because we forget that these are real bloody people.
Yeah, and I think that's something else that a number of you guys have said on a couple of our reviews. You've got to remember they've got to tread quite carefully around this
Yeah.
subject because presumably everyone's still alive.
Yeah.
I thought the inclusion of actual footage was incredibly powerful,
powerful,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Incredibly powerful. What about the scene where the cop showed Imelda Staunton or offered to show them the photo?
I like Carla. Because often to show them the photo. Oh
The
my
photo of
God.
of
Do
Becky.
you think that actually happened?
I mean, he seemed very insensitive.
Surely to
Surely they
God.
could have warned her that there was no
Then
head
maybe
or...
there'd been a conversation before and they said, listen, it's maybe she already knew that she had no head and hands.
Yeah.
And so then when she sees the photos and collapses on the floor, oh my God.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of this episode, and I'm sure it's the same for anyone that's a parent, you just kept going, unimaginable, unimaginable, unimaginable.
Oh, utterly,
Every moment
utterly,
if this was
utterly.
yours.
I mean, and there was the moment where Sean arrived in the coffin, and the absolute silence of them walking out, I thought, was so
Loved that with the drums.
tragic,
Loved the
wasn't it?
drums.
Yeah. It was a little bit like when they found out, and there was the silence.
Charlotte says the small box inside the casket was moving. It
Was
wasn't.
moving. My God, what?
She had the flower on it.
Oh, thanks, Deborah. My review of Ad Astra was spot on. Thank you very much. Yeah, do check that out. It's a good film. So I thought all the stuff around the funeral really made me think about the awfulness of being a parent and all of that.
You're right, Lynn. She's a marvellous actress.
Part 3, Sean's mum pissed off hearing the names mentioned in the same breath as Becky. I thought that was an interesting dynamic,
It's a really
wasn't it?
interesting new complexity to the story, because
What's the name of the actress?
you
who
had
plays Sean's mum?
Imelda
She's so good.
Staunton desperately wanting to make a connection, because imagine that so much within grief. If you can meet somebody else that's had a similar thing, because the feeling of nobody understanding what's going on is, or what it must be like, is awful. And so you've got her wanting this connection with the other mother.
Yeah.
And when she says, "Oh, Sean and Becky are together now,"
Yeah.
and you see them, but also you have sympathy for the other one, because you don't want everyone thinking that your child is a prostitute and a drug addict.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it was
terrible.
really sad.
So there was a striving for connection between the two mums, and of course there was a sort of rivalry too.
Sean's mum didn't want that.
A rivalry of grief, which was kind of fascinating, and I thought nicely touched upon without them labouring the point. And then, of course, Martin Freeman really goes home and says, "I feel like I'm the one who's under investigation." I thought he was very good. I mean, he's not overdoing it, is he? He's quite matter of fact, and I feel we're building to Martin Freeman's dark moment of the soul, don't you? Because he's almost thinking, well, this is bound to not happen because I've actually discovered the murderer. But it's getting increasingly likely. And again, from what I've gleaned from a sideways glance at some of the story, it's going to get very interesting. This isn't...
Don't tell us too much.
Well, I'm teasing you all.
James Michael Mahon, a friend of mine, studied criminology at uni. We both watched it and had a different way of understanding love confession. Oh, I wonder what was different about your friend that studied criminology then? Tell us.
So the admission that Martin Freeman made, you can see them leading Freeman into the sort of trap, can't you? When he says, "So having a lawyer is a loophole, is it?" And you can see Martin Freeman just... I mean, you would... I think if I was a copper or a detective, how does one remain sort of, observant of procedure?
Oh, God, sorry.
What? What's so funny about what I just said? What? What?
Such an idiotic mistake. Somebody just said to me, hang on, what?
That was so shocking. Do you know what's going on, Maddie?
Sorry, when I said to the woman, the box wasn't moving, it was the flower. She meant it was emotionally moving.
Oh, God.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
Who
my
said that?
God, how stupid.
Oh, yeah, Charlotte. No, I mean moving like...
Oh, Charlotte, I'm so sorry.
That's like with Pat,
Yeah.
watching this film where
Yeah.
a baby gets buried.
Right.
And I went, wow, that's deep and meaningful.
Oh, no.
Pat went, I suppose it's quite far in the ground.
Oh, God,
Did you hear that?
so...
Oh,
yeah.
my God, did you hear that?
What an idiot I am. Of course it was incredibly moving.
I thought you'd seen a reflection of yourself. You were laughing at your hair. I didn't know what the hell was going on there. You're right. I don't think you're ever going to recover from that. You're right. I think this review's over. I think 'cause the table's moving.
God, how stupid was that? Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if Becky's parents are going to get any justice. I just feel for Imelda Staunton so massively, don't you?
Yeah,
It's
I'm sure the mother, we don't obviously know who the real mother's name is, but oh my God, I wonder if they are able to bear to watch it.
Well, there's that.
But I suppose you'd want to, in a way, it would be a relief to have your story, to have it. If I'm doing that, it means why would you go like that? Why would you do that?
Because
otherwise it would have gone like that. For when everyone said, it would have gone like that. Oh my God, we've got to do a podcast on that. Oh my God.
No, look at that lovely comment there. Look, James Flanagan, I so wish you two were my film lecturers because you have a real honest chat about a drama and film.
Well, we love a good honest chat about it.
Well, no, yeah, really interesting chat about film.
Oh, criminology's understanding of external factors that lead to crime. It makes these kinds of things a more interesting watch.
Yeah, it does.
Are you a criminologist?
Ooh.
It sounds so interesting, criminology, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Watch The Capture on Tuesday. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It would make good reviewing. What's that one?
Yeah, no, it's the one on BBC, I think. I sort of read mixed reviews, but it's just not enough hours in the week for us to commit to all of these.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Here's the thing. I was really struck by how difficult it would be to feel grateful to Martin Freeman. You would feel grateful that you knew that he'd murdered him. But then how would you actually feel if you knew that the procedure he hadn't followed had led...
Well, you see,
do you
the way that
circles?
I run my life is...
Yeah, how do you run your life?
Is everything is about intention. His intention was to catch a disgusting murderer and
Yes.
bring him to justice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He was offered a golden nugget on a plate. If he had taken him back to the station and cautioned him,
Yeah.
they would never have found that second girl's body.
No.
And Imelda Staunton's character
Would
have
not know.
still been waiting in and not going to parties, and not going, all in case Becky turned up.
Very true. That's
so
what I
for
think.
me,
You'd
he
thank
was
him.
blameless. He was
Yeah.
blameless because
Yeah.
his intention was right. He wasn't just like, yeah, let's just get him because I want to get it and I want to get a promotion. He desperately wanted to catch the guy and he was desperately worried.
Right. Look, Nessie Diamond, I knew Sean.
Oh, God.
Your thoughts and compassion as you review a confession is so appreciated. Oh, Nessie, you're
Oh,
so
God, don't. That makes
sorry.
me cry.
Don't. Well, therein, Nessie, case in point, this is a living, breathing drama, which I have to confess, having gone to the first episode, we didn't realise. And then, of
We
course,
didn't know. We just thought it was a
But
drama.
then seeing the actual footage, I was reminded of the moment. I mean, I was wanting to be that man smashing the outside of the van as
I
he was
wondered
pulled
if
in.
that was one of the dads that was doing
I
that.
think it might have been. Oh, Nessie. Well, oh, God.
Well, our heart
My
goes out to
compassion
you
goes
and
out to
all
you, the
that
family,
knew her.
friends, everyone, the
Just
community.
horrific.
Horrendous.
I wonder if her family could bear to watch it. I'm wondering if I could, if it was mine. I suppose in one way you would want to see the story told, and you
Yes.
would want your child's story told.
Absolutely.
But in another way, God, unimaginable.
The final part of the show, we had more real footage, which again really impactful. I thought it was clever the way they haven't included too much or any, I don't think, up until this episode, and then they hit us with it now. Joe Absalom comes back in, and I almost feel terrible commenting on his performance in the context of someone already knowing the people involved in this. But he, by doing very little again, he was beyond chilling.
Nice.
He was beyond chilling in his ordinariness. And
That
I think
little smile to his daughter. His daughter is a fantastic actress. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Laurence Olivier's famous line was, I'm not a good enough actor to play a small part. Now, she had a tiny part initially in the confession with him. She was brilliant. And then in the court case, when he turns and gives her that little smile, her look of absolute horror as she's watching. We'd forgotten she was his daughter and thought it was a relative.
Yeah, we did.
But oh God, a brilliant moment from her.
Absolutely.
With no run into it,
No
nothing.
run-in whatsoever. And once again, Joe Absalom, just again, a peerless performance. Rainbow Flag, can you shout out to Alistair, myself? Yes, hello Alistair, and myself. Is that you, Rainbow Flag? And Helen Hicks, have you done a live Q&A on how to stay married so far? Not yet, no.
But we will.
But we will be. And then, of course, we finally get it confirmed that Martin Freeman is going to be done for gross misconduct. Feels
And the
highly
police just
unjust.
seemed so... That's the dog. The police just seemed so...
The police seem so unsupportive, or not even unsupportive. They seem uninterested. I don't know. I don't get that. I don't know if is that going to make sense further down the way.
I mean, is it just procedure? Are these things just happening all the time with police? I mean...
Well, okay. I'm going to give you a little bit of information on this. Many moons ago, a relative of mine used to work with all of the senior commissioner of all the police forces across the UK. And apparently there are more police forces investigating other police forces than are investigating actual major crimes. I mean, the number of police forces that are having to investigate other police forces for countless other potential
Well, I suppose
issues.
so.
So, you know. But I suppose that's a good
Joe
thing.
was in Broadchurch. I was in the EastEnders with Joe at the same time. We were great mates. We drifted apart. I was much older than him. But honestly, a nicer guy you would not find in the business. It was funny because I was looking for him on social media because I just wanted to get him. And of course, typical Joe, he's not on. He wouldn't be. Joe wouldn't be on social media.
Oh, really? Oh, there
He's
you
quite
go.
a hippie.
Yeah,
He's a sweetie.
Well, there you go. So that's episode 4, and I'm looking forward to this. It grows and grows, and if anyone hasn't watched it, I would fully recommend binge watching the 4 episodes up until now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Lots of love. Are we off? Are you off?
I'm off.
You're off. Are you off?
Are you off?
Loving the drama. You need to keep watching from Sweden. We know the outcome. R.I.P. to both girls and to those they may never know about. Okay. Uncut. Thank you, Lee Lebowski. Uncut Gems trailer. That's the new Adam Sandler film that he's being tipped for an Oscar on. Great to know. Thank you for letting us know that a trailer's landing tomorrow.
So thank you guys, and let our thoughts and prayers be with the families and the poor girls who lost their lives in this brutal pick. I don't know what the real story is. I don't know whether he got out, whatever, but I'm sure we're going to find out by the end of the series. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Will do. Oh no, I have. I was answering you.